My childhood crush that rejected me suddenly declares she wants to be with me, just as I was about to propose to her younger sister. It started 4 years ago when I finally worked up the courage to tell Emma how I felt. We'd been friends since elementary school, and I'd been crazy about her forever. She was this perfect combination of smart and funny, with these green eyes that made me forget how to talk like a normal human being. I remember exactly where we were standing when I told her, right outside the coffee shop on Maple Street where we always studied together. I'd been practicing what to say for weeks, written it down on index cards like some kind of loser. But when the moment came, I just blurted out that I'd been in love with her since we were kids. She got this really uncomfortable look on her face and started fidgeting with her car keys. Then she gave me the whole speech about how she valued our friendship too much to risk it, and how she just didn't see me that way. I nodded and pretended it was fine, but honestly, it felt like getting punched in the stomach. After that, things got weird between us for a while. I needed space, so I started hanging out less with our friend group. That's actually how I ended up getting closer to her little sister Chloe. Emma was 3 years older than Chloe, so I'd never really paid attention to her before. But she was a freshman when I was a senior, and she started asking me for help with chemistry homework. Chloe was nothing like Emma. Where Emma was reserved and careful with her words, Chloe was this burst of energy who said whatever popped into her head. She had the same green eyes as her sister, but everything else about her was completely different. She played drums in the school band, wore these crazy vintage t-shirts, and had this laugh that was way too loud for quiet places. We started texting about random stuff after homework sessions. Then she started coming to my baseball games, cheering louder than anyone else in the stands. By the time I graduated, we were hanging out almost every day during the summer. When she turned 18 last month, I knew I wanted to marry her. I'd been planning the proposal for weeks. Nothing fancy, just us and the lake where we had our first real date 2 years ago. I'd already bought the ring from this little jewelry store downtown. Nothing expensive, but it was perfect for her. Simple silver band with a small diamond. Exactly what she'd pointed out once when we walked past the window. The plan was to propose this Saturday during our usual evening walk around the lake. I had the whole thing figured out. I'd even practiced what to say, though this time I wasn't writing it on index cards like an idiot. Then yesterday happened. I was at Target buying groceries when I heard someone call my name. I turned around and there was Emma, looking exactly the same as she did 4 years ago. She seemed nervous, playing with her hair the way she always did when she was about to say something important. She asked if we could talk somewhere private, so we ended up sitting in my car in the parking lot. That's when she told me she'd been thinking about what I said back in high school, and how she'd made a huge mistake. She said she'd always had feelings for me but was too scared to admit it. She'd been watching me and Chloe together, and seeing how happy I looked made her realize what she'd lost. Then she said the words I'd dreamed about hearing for years. I want to be with you. I think I'm in love with you. 4 years ago, I would have done anything to hear her say that. But sitting there in my car, all I could think about was Chloe. How she'd probably be waiting for me to pick her up from work in an hour. How excited she'd been this morning talking about our lake walk tomorrow, even though she had no idea what I was planning. I told Emma I was with her sister now, and she already knew that. She said she didn't care, that what we had was special and worth fighting for. She even reached over and put her hand on mine, something she'd never done before. I pulled my hand away and told her it was too late, that I was happy with Chloe, happier than I'd ever been. Emma's face changed completely. She got this cold look and said I was making a huge mistake, that Chloe was just a rebound and I'd realize it eventually. The worst part was when she said, she's not me, she'll never be me. Like being different from Emma was somehow a bad thing. I told her she was right. Chloe wasn't her, and that's exactly why I loved her. Then I got out of the car and walked into Target, leaving Emma sitting there. I spent the rest of yesterday feeling all mixed up about everything.